becoming the person, becoming the person that the person you would like to like you would like you to be. One of those kind of sort of clever things. And he's saying, get out of debt. If you want to be a guy that girls want, be this, do this, try this, do this, don't do this, don't sleep together, get out of debt, postpone the physical. And he's going through a whole litany of things, and they're laughing, and all the responses are kind of superficial. And I'm listening to this, and I'm saying, why? 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 Why would I do that? Why, if I want to sleep with this girl, why wouldn't I sleep with her? If I want to get involved physically, why not? Why should I get out of debt? If I want to get a new BMW, I'll go into debt. Why? Because you tell me that? It's completely impotent. Unless there is a driving internal motivation on the part of the person listening to be obedient to this truth. And where does that come from? That doesn't come from cleverness. That doesn't come from the environment that you're in. That doesn't come from the music. That comes internally from the love of Christ. That is because you love Christ, because you have such a vision of Christ, such a revelation of Christ brought home to you by the preaching of the Word of God. You have been so caught up in the wonder of who Jesus Christ is, and you love Him. And didn't He say it? If you love me, you will do what? You will keep my commandments. So where do these people get this deep affection in that environment? Where do they get that? I just think you're talking, and what you say could be accurate, it could be true, it could be beneficial. Somebody might say, yeah, I think I'll do that, for the next 12 hours. But where's the motivation? That's what is missing in this contemporary model of people giving people advice, even biblical advice, because they haven't shepherded their people into a profound love for Christ that longs to honor Him. I think Piper for years has talked one step above that, or one step beyond that in desiring God. But it needs to go past that. You can't get stuck at desiring God, because how do you do that? How do you desire God? How do you make Him your highest joy? How do you get there? I think you've got to go all the way to Christ. And I think you have to desire to honor Christ. You have to have such a love for Christ. Otherwise, trying to make yourself desire God becomes kind of an emotional thing. You've got to go past that. You've got to come to Christ. And, that's why, certainly, for me, the focus of ministry continues to be Christ. And I can't get past Him. I just can't. And here I am after going through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, 25 years, and now I start poking around asking people, what should I do now that I'm done? I should die. I should be dead. I should go to heaven. I'm still here. What do I do? And people saying, do John, do John. People saying, do the Gospel of John. Why? Why? Why aren't they saying to me, preach Colossians? Why aren't they saying, preach 1 Thessalonians? Let's learn about the rapture of the church. Because who are they enamored with? Who do they love? They love Christ. This is what is missing. And I would encourage you, when you do go out and start to preach Christ. Start in a gospel. You couldn't do better than to start with the Gospel of John, because it's written that people might believe that He is the Christ, the Son of God, and believing have life in His name. And you need to evangelize whoever you're talking to, first of all, right? And that's the greatest polemic. So I just think there's so much preaching that is funny, clever, maybe insightful, maybe intense. But there's not enough going on in the ministry there to develop in the hearts of people a true love for Christ. It's not a Christ-exalting ministry where the people have a passion for Him. And unless that's a deep-seated conviction in the heart, obedience then is dependent on emotion. And then, so they crank up the the emotional pitch of everything. They crank up the music. They crank up everything to try to raise people's emotional level to do what really can't be done on an emotional level. Can't be sustained.